Flutter tutorial episode. In today's video, let's keep building our rental car app. Today we'll be focusing on designing this page right here, the payment page. So for that, let's create a few models that will represent the card information that a user can register. And also we need to create a custom widgets that we are able to display right here. So first we need to create a class that will represent the types of cards that we can register. So let's go inside of this model folder and create right here payment underscore type dot dart. Inside of this class, let's create an enum. You can call this enum payment type, and this enum will represent the type of cards that the user can register. So you can register a Visa card, a credit card, or a gift card. So the values will be Visa, credit, and gift card. Then we also need a class so we are able to do a mapping between this payment type and a string. The idea is instead of using this payment type .visa, we will display just the Visa card string. So create a class and you can call this payment card type. Inside of this class, you will have a static mapping between the payment type and the string. You can call this payment card label, and this will be equal to the object that we'll define right here. So for each the payment type and value will provide a corresponding string. So for this credit card, you can use right here column and then provide a string, and the string will be the credit card. Add a comma right here. So then copy and do the same thing for the remaining options. So now we need to create another model, and this model will represent the card itself. So call this payment underscore card. So right here inside of this class, we need the properties to represent the card. So we need the ID of the card, the number of the card, the name on the card, the expiration date, the security code. Then we need to check if this card is default and also check if it's deleted. We also need the ID of the user that registered this card and also the type of the card. So for the ID, this will be of type int. You can call this payment card ID. Then we need a string for the card number. We also need another string for the name on card. Then a string for security code. Another one for the expiration date. Then a boolean is deleted. Another boolean for default. And then the payment type, call this payment type. And then the last string is for the application user ID. So now we need a constructor for this payment card, so call this right here payment card and add the parentheses. So here I want to all these properties to become name argument, so for that I will use the curly brackets, and inside of it let's call require this dot the property. So just copy this one and paste it, and then replace it to the remaining properties that we have right here. So with that, we define all the properties for the card. Now we can come right here and let's create a widget that will list the cards right here. So come right here, create a new file. You can call this payment underscore card underscore list underscore widget dot dot. So let's select the option to work with a stateful widget. Change the name right here to be payment card list widget. So here, let's return expanded widget. We will call a child for this expanded widget as a list view widget. So let's work with right here with the default name constructor. So call the children property, and inside of this children property will display the list that will represent our payment cards. So here we can also add a padding. So call the edgely set.symmetric with the property vertical with a value of 16. So for now, I will go inside of this class right here and paste it a static list for the payment cards. But as we move forward, we'll add a list of payment cards that will come from a web service. So come right here, import your class for the payment card, and also import a class for this payment type. So what we'll do right here inside of this children property is called a for loop, and this is usually called a collection for. So this will allow us to iterate over this list and create our payment widget. So call a var, you can call this card in and then provide your list right here. So we need to create a new widget that will represent our card. So come right here, create a new file, and you can name this payment underscore card underscore list underscore item underscore widget dot dot. So for this widget, let's use a stateless widget. Change the name right here. So the information of the card will do a dependency injection to pass the information to this widget. So right here we need to define a final and then call the class payment card, and you can call this payment card. So then give it a comma right here and call require this dot the payment card. So for this widget, let's return right here a container widget, and then let's call the decoration property, and here you call the box decoration. We also need to provide the padding and the margin and also the alignment for the widgets inside of it. So for the alignment, you can call the alignment enum with the value of center. And then for padding, you can call edgely set.all and the value for padding will be 16. Then for margin, just call edgely set.symmetric. So here we'll use the property horizontal, the margin will be 16, and vertical, the margin will be 12. So you can add a keyword right here to make them constant. So now inside of this box decoration, the first property we'll use is the color property. So let's use colors.blue-gray. Give it a comma. Then for the border, let's use the border.all. And here you provide the width to your border, and the value will be 0.1. Add a comma. Then let's add the border radius. So right here, use border radius.circular name constructor, and the value will be 9. We can also add a box shadow to this container widget. This will expand the list of box shadow class. So for the box shadow class, you can provide a color to it. So yeah, use colors.black. Let's use this version right here, 45. Then we also have this method with the value. Here you just call the alpha property and the value will be 0.2. Give it a com. We also have the blur radius. Right here the value will be 3. And then the spread radius, the value will be 1. Add a comma right here. So after the decoration, you can call a child widget. And here let's call a column widget. So let's define the children property. It's inside of this children property that will display all the information about the card. So for now, just save this widget right here. So copy the name of this widget and let's call inside of our collection for, paste it right here. And then let's import this widget. After that, we need to do an injection right here of your card object. So add a comma right here, save everything. So now let's call this widget right here. So we see what we have so far. So let's go inside of this payment method page. Come right here, come into this code and just call your widget right here. So now save everything. We can see we just have these two containers right here. So now let's start adding information about this card widget. So right here, the first thing I want to do is display what kind of card if this is. If it's a Visa card or MasterCard or a gift card. So for that, we'll use a row widget. Right here, let's use the main X alignment with the value of space between. Then call the children property. Inside of this row widget, we'll have two expanded widgets. The first one will take an image.assetName constructor. So right here, instead of providing a fixed path, what we'll do is call the payment card dot and then call this property right here, the payment type, and let's check if this payment type is equal to the payment type dot the credit value. Add a question mark. Here you provide a path if this is true. Otherwise, we need to provide another path. So right here inside of our project, I already added two images right here inside of this asset folder. I have right here the mastercard.png and also have the visa card.png. So we'll display the logo based on right here on this condition. So you can come right here, call the assets /image /mastercard.png. Otherwise, we'll provide the path to the Visa card. So come right here, just call the Visa. So besides of providing the path, we can also provide properties like the width, let's say 100 pixel, and then the height will be 50 pixel. We can also use the fit property. This will take the box fit in with the value of contain. And then we also have the blend color mode. This will take the blend mode with the value of darken. So add a comma right here. So after this expanded widget, let's call another one. But now this will take the flex property with a value of 4. Then for the children, we'll call another row widget. Here let's use main X alignment, but now with the value of end. Call the children property. And inside of this children property, let's call the badge widget. So for this badge widget, we are able to add a padding to it. So let's use edgeLyset.symmetric and just use the padding horizontally with a value of 8 pixel for padding. Then we also have this property right here, small size. This will be 24. We also have for the large size, this will be 44. We also have the background color. Let's use colors.gray. Now let's provide a shade, let's say 300, and also with the value method right here, and just call the alpha, and the value will be 0.2. And then this will expect to having a child widget as a label. So right here you can do payment card dot, and then check if this is default. Do a question mark right here, will display a text widget with a text default. Otherwise, we'll use a text button. So the idea right here is using this text button to give the user the ability to set a card as a default card. So right here you call an anonymous function. For now we'll leave it as it is. Afterwards we'll add a action to it so a user can set a card as default. So here you can define a constant text widget, and for the text, let's say set as default. So here you can also make this one a constant text. Right here also constant. So now add a comma right here. We need to define a constant size box widget, so we can add a gap to it. Call the height property, and the value will be 10. So save everything. So now you can see right here, for the MasterCard, this will see this logo right here, and for the Visa, you'll see the Visa logo. So let's apply some styles to this text widget right here. I will use this text style and provide the color, and let's use the colors white. We can copy this property right here and apply it to this text widget as well. So now we need another row widget, but now let's display the card number. So call the main X alignment with the value of space between, call the children property, and here inside of this children property we'll define a text widget. So right here you do payment card dot card number, but here we don't want to display the full number of this card, so for that you use this method right here, replace range. Right here you define the start position and then the end position, and here this will be the string that will replace this string inside of these positions right here. So for us, let's use asterisks, and for every 4 number we'll use asterisk, then space, provide asterisk again, space, asterisk, and space again. Now save. You will see we only are able to display these last 4 digits. So right here, define a constant text widget, and then for this text, let's say card number. So now let's copy this color right here and apply to this too. So now copy this widget right here, give it a comma here, paste it. We also need a new row widget. So come right here, call the row widget. Let's do basically the same thing. Define the main X alignment with the value of space between, then call the children property, and we'll provide our text widgets. So we can come right here, copy the size box, add it, and let's also copy this row widget one more time and paste it right here. So for this one, let's say this will be display the name on the card. So right here, name on card, give it a comma, call another text widget, and just call the payment card dot name on card. For this one, let's call a text widget for the expiration date. Give it a comma right here, text widget, payment card dot expiration date. We can also add another row if you want to display the security code, but for us, let's leave it as it is. So now I just have to come right here, copy again these properties for this color, paste it right here, paste it here, do the same thing right here. So now save everything. So after that, let's add a decoration right here. So this will look like as a credit card. So right here, color container widget. We need to provide right here the decoration property called the box decoration. Let's use the color property. Right here, you can use color dot from RGBO. Here for the red, this will be 187. For the green, this will be 188. And then for the blue, 182. And for the opacity, this will be 1. Give it a comma right here. We can also call the border radius. Let's use border radius dot circular with the value of 5. And then give a comma right here. So after the box decoration, call the child. And this will be a row widget. Call the main X alignment with the value of end. And then inside of the children property, let's call a size box widget. Right here, call the height property, and the value will be 40. So now save everything. So now what we'll need to do is come right here and let's extract all these row widgets into a method. So let's start by this first one. Come right here, extract method. Call this add payment type, or actually add card type. Then come right here, extract it, make it private, add card number. For this one, add card or name on card. And then extract this one, add expiration date, and lastly extract this container widget and add box decoration. So with that, we flatten our widget. So now save everything. So now the user can see what card he has registered inside of our application. So in the next video, let's learn how we can add contextual action to this card. So for that, let's learn how to work with dismissible widgets. So this is it for this video. If you find this video useful, give it a like and also subscribe to our channel so you can get notification when new videos are coming out. This is it. See you on the next one.